How we doing?
Good, thank you.
What do we got? Fire away.
Can you build momentum? Do you have to build momentum in spring camp, or do you already have it coming off the 8-4 season last year?
You actually got to build momentum every day. So, we're in a society now where what you did yesterday really doesn't matter. So, it's about coming out here consistently on a daily basis, understanding, embracing the process, and really just having a great Thursday. But we don't, this day and age, I don't think you can look. We think like TikTokers, so we got about 10-second brain. We got about a 10-second brain mentality, but we had a really good first day of training on Tuesday. We've had good meetings on Monday and Wednesday, and we're ready to get number 2 in the books here because we only get 15 of them, so we got to make them all count. So.
Gotcha. How big of a deal is it getting DTR back?
It was, I think, anytime you can get your experienced players back, and especially at the quarterback position. That's the one thing. The experience factor is something you can't teach. It's just a matter of time. And so he's got a ton of reps under his belt that he has kind of in his catalog in the back of his brain. Like, I've been in this situation before, and this is what happened. And when the safety moves to the middle of the field, my option is to go here. He's seen that, done that. So, and I think he's displayed great leadership with all the younger guys, because we do have some younger guys in certain positions. We're old in some positions and we're young in other positions. So to have the quarterback, really the leader, to be an experience and coming back for year 5 is really huge for us. So.
Coach, some of your players talk about they still have a chip on their shoulder, even though it is in the spring. Is that a good thing to have right now?
It always is. I mean, I think no one ever arrives. You look at the greatest players, like Tom Brady has a chip on his shoulder, and he's the greatest player to ever play the game. So I think it's what motivates him. It motivates the individual. You watch The Last Dance, Michael Jordan had a chip on his shoulder all the time, and he's arguably one of the greatest athletes of all time, and that's just kind of a mindset that I think all those guys should have. I heard Peyton Manning say it once before, is you never arrive. You're always trying to just get better. And if you kind of adopt that philosophy, I think it's beneficial to you.
In this part of the season, what about fundamentals? How important is it to get the fundamentals down that you got?
Yeah. Well, fundamentals it's a great question, are the base of the game. You got to be able to block, you got to be able to tackle, you got to be able to catch the football, you got to be able to hold on to it as a running back. It's about execution, but it still comes down to just the fundamental aspects of the game. And because you're not playing an opponent and putting in game plan specific things, you can really focus and concentrate on that a little bit more during spring ball. So that's a huge emphasis for us during this spring. So.
Coach, you had a pretty solid offensive line last year, but you have some turnover. What are you seeing from these guys?
We just lost 2 guys. I mean, we got a bunch of other guys back. So we
Coach,
just lost Alex and Sean.
A coach, 3 starters.
2 starters.
And
Paul, yeah. But I mean, Duke's played a ton. Johnny's played a ton. Sam's played a ton. Neil's played a ton. So we got a bunch of guys in there, and that's just the evolution of football. I mean, you don't get to keep them. This isn't the NFL. You can't keep guys for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So you just, it's the nature of it. It's going to roll over at some point in time, and we're really confident in some of the young guys. Garrett DiGiorgio, who played for us last year as a true freshman, has been outstanding, and the first training session was great in the off season. So excited about him and getting to see some of those younger kids that we were really excited about as they came in, and they're continuing to progress. Bruno Fina's doing a really nice job for us right now. So we're excited to see how this whole thing plays itself out.
Yeah, but Tyler Manoa is not a young guy, but the first time over there in the offensive line. When did that change get made?
Well, it got made in the offseason. We felt like we had some depth at defensive tackle. We're probably about 6 deep there, so just trying to put guys in the best position to see the field. So it's a chance to see if that's something that he can do to help us. The one thing about him is he has the ability to go back. It's something we've done with a lot of kids. Neil was there before, and he came over. Ciali was there to start his career, and he's over with us now. So it's just trying to find the best position for him to get him on the field.
While we're talking about the offensive line, there are publications that have Zach as a dark horse Heisman candidate. Is that good publicity? Is that good pressure to put on the offensive line, even at this stage? Is that good talk?
I mean, it's deserved because Zach's that type of player, and he ran the ball that well last year. But we try to not be concerned with what outside expectations are. I bet if you ask Zach, his expectations for himself are probably higher than that. So, and that's a good thing. That's the thing that we love about him as a player. So. We try not to worry about what other people are saying. We're not governed by the fear of what other people say. We're just out here to work. So if people are going to talk about him, then that means they recognize that, he had a really good season last year, and he did. So that's well deserved.
Is that a good expectation for this offensive line as you're trying to replace 2 guys?
Yeah, we're not even talking about expectations. We're talking about Thursday. So we're short-term thinkers. We can't. Again, we're in the TikTok world. We're concerned about today. We're not really worried about what the prognostications are for the end of next season and where kids will end up in some type of accolades they're going to get. I think we're real focused on just playing football. And the good thing about this group is they like playing ball. They just want to compete. So let's enjoy the time we have right now. And we got a good training session we're getting ready for right now. And so we're fired up for it.
Chip, you got a new contract this offseason. How do you view that as validation of what you've done so far? How do you put that in perspective?
Don't view that as I come to work every day, so my day hasn't changed since I've been here. So came here to give every effort I can to be a part of this great school and in this great community, and just excited to be here. So
All the other day we saw with the boot and scooter. Do you have a status update on him?
he's unavailable.
Have any of the transfers stood out? How is Bobo?
Well, we had
Azizi?
one. Jake's been great. He got here in January. Aziz just got here Monday. So, for 3 days, he's been fantastic. As good as 3 days as you could ever have. So, all those kids, I think they're all getting acclimated. A couple came in early. Darius came in early in January. Bobo came in early in January. So they're a little bit ahead of the curve. They had a whole off season with KB and strength and conditioning. Gary Smith just got here on Monday. They're all doing a really good job, but we've really only been on the field once, so it's tough to say, hey, these guys are the standouts out of that group, but we feel good about all those guys we brought in.
How important is it for the freshmen coming into who enrolled early, especially a quarterback like Justin Martin, to kind of get that head start?
I think it helps all of them, because you got to remember when we get to next August and we start preseason camp, that will be when the rest of the freshmen show up, and you'll see what the different strides between a kid like Justin. Now Justin got here in January too, so he had an off-season program for himself. So it's just going to put him that much, really 6 months ahead, in terms of advancement and knowledge and just fitting in and kind of knowing where to go and not worrying about first day of class where the buildings are or any of those things, because they've kind of been there, done that. So it is an advantage, when kids get a chance to come in early. Dorian actually didn't get here until the summer of his freshman year and got thrown into the mix because he was the number 2 quarterback behind Wilton. When Wilton got hurt, Dorian had to go in a game. So I think Justin will be a little bit more advanced in that just because of the time he's had. So.
And then it's a few weeks out, but the spring showcase isn't at the end of spring practice, and there's no official game versus is that a decision made by you, by administration, Pac-12 Network?
It was made by me, and the Pac-12 Network told us what day they wanted us on, so we could have the spring showcase today. So it's just they coming down to watch you practice and see what you're going to do. So it's just scheduling. Everything and all we do is done by these guys. It's all about TV. Whatever they want, right, Jim? You guys tell us what to do. So it's whenever they want to do us. They said they want us on the 23rd. That's great. That fell. We have 3 more practice opportunities after that because you get 15. So we did it during practice number 12. So it doesn't have to be a culmination of anything. It's just a chance to showcase our guys. So.
What changes do you expect Bill McGovern to bring to the defense?
I think all of those guys. So I think with Bill and Ken Norton Jr., some of the things that they bring for them, with their vast experience in the National Football League, and some of the new kind of things that are going on in that league that are trickling down to college football. I think they'll be implementing a little bit. Some of the things that Kaika had when he was at Washington, he was co-defensive coordinator up there. So, and then blending it in with what we do. So we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I think trying to keep terminology as close as we can. If there's something new going in, how does it fit into our system from a wording standpoint? But we also have some veteran kids like Blaylock and Caleb and some of those guys older that have been around for a long time, so they can adjust to some things. So it's really a collaboration effort for all those guys on the defensive side as well.
Dorian said that you encouraged him to turn pro and go to the draft. What was that process like, and what do you think made him come back?
Well, he was very deliberate in his process of what he was looking for. And some of the advice we had is it's not a great quarterback draft. So what you're not only evaluating this, what you're evaluating is, can I get somewhere, am I going to make it? So there's a good opportunity if you're a quarterback in this draft that if you came out this year, because there aren't many quarterbacks in this draft. So one thing we do with all of our players is we try to educate them on the information that we have. I know if he came out, he would have been drafted and would have had an opportunity to make a team, and that's what my job is, to give him all that information, and then for him and his family to make the decision on what's the best thing for him. But we wanted him back. I wanted him back in the worst way, but I can't tell him for our selfish reasons, we need you back and you shouldn't go. We're going to share with him all the information we have, and from the information we had is he would have been a really draftable guy and had an opportunity to make the team this year. So that's what I shared with him.
Just curious, do you have a past relationship with Lincoln Riley?
No, I don't. I mean, we played them twice, but I besides playing them, that's all I.
Have you talked to him since he took the job?
On league meetings when we have those Zoom calls. That's it.
It's interesting how he's used the portal. I mean, I know everybody's using it, but definitely kind of a next level situation.
I don't know what you mean by next level. I mean, we just take kids. We've taken portal kids ever since we've been here, and whether it's Zach, or Obi Ibu, or Cam Johnson, or the guys that we've had. I think everybody. There's not a team in college football that doesn't use the portal. So I think it's the level that everybody's using right now. So
How do you feel about the portal overall?
I like it. Kids should have a choice. Be where you want to be. So now some kids don't ever know where they want to be, so they're moving around, and you got kids that go to twice, 3 times, 4 times, and I hope kids find and end up where they really truly want to be, and it works out for them. So it's a positive thing. Coaches are allowed to move on, players should be allowed to move on. So I don't have any issues with the portal. I think if a kid's here for 1 day or if a kid's here for 4 years, your job is to help them. And if they come to you and say, I think I want to go in the portal, all right, then where would you like me to call to try to help you and see if we can get you somewhere else? If you think that's a better spot for you. So, that's kind of the way we've always approached it. We use the portal both ways. We've taken some of our players out here that have had a tremendous impact on this football program, our portal kids. So,
When a kid wants to go in the portal, you want him to stay, though, you'd rather have him stay. Do you try and talk him out of it, or you
it's the
just
same
say
thing we do with Dorian. The same thing we do with kids going to the NFL draft. We educate them on the benefits of staying, and then they and their families make a decision on what's the best thing for them. And if they make a decision that the best thing is to leave, and then our next question should be, how can we help you then?
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.